This is my most recent flower bed. You can tell that it's the newest because if you look at this flower bed or the one next to it, you've got like huge foliage, tons of flowers. Like they're really producing right now. I planted those a few months ago. I planted this one a few weeks ago. And in order for us to get this bed looking like that, we have to do some early maintenance. As I've mentioned in other videos, all plants want to do is reproduce. And so most plants reproduce through, well, like most annual plants reproduce through seeds, angiosperms. And to get seeds, you have flowers. When we want flowers, we don't want seeds, because if this plant is calendula, if this plant, we allow it to start creating seeds, then it's done, it's like achieved its mission in life and its life cycle is over. It'll just die because it's put out enough seeds. So if I want these to continue to produce, I just need to cut off all these flowers. And we call that deadheading. So to deadhead a calendula, I'm gonna follow the spent flower all the way back to the base of the stem and just cut it off. If you don't wanna bring snips with you, you can also just use your fingertips and cut it off. These haven't yet gone to seed, so me just like dropping them into the bed isn't going to increase my weed seed bank. But if you are concerned about that, then I would recommend using like a flail mower or actually removing the flowers if you've already let them go to seed. But for here, I'm just gonna kind of go along this entire bed and cut off these flowers. I like to wait till the flowers are fully open and then are starting to try to go to seed. I'm not gonna cut off these blooms because I like bees and pollinators, and so I'm gonna invite them. But you can tell, especially with the calendula, it's super easy to tell when it's starting to make seeds because this base is gonna bulb out, and you can see it a little bit more in here. I don't know if you can zoom in here, but these little green things are starting to become seeds. And so if I don't let it get all the way to seed status, then we can trick them into keeping to produce. Same thing here, this is globe amaranth. I really like to grow this one for dried flowers. So I'll do the same thing, pinch it right back to the bottom. And another cool thing is if you get a long enough stem while deadheading, you're just creating a bouquet. If you are gonna dry these flowers, I highly recommend taking the leaves off. They just don't dry nearly as well as the blooms. It's always sad for me to deadhead, and I think maybe for a lot of folks, because you did all this work to try to create these flowers, and then you're pinching them off before they even get very big. But it's important to do if you wanna get like higher quality, larger, and a longer season of flowers.